Here, hold on. I can't really hear you. G G G G G G G G trilogy, 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 trip. What?
You said it's funny hearing you talk about all this again, like the lyrics, because the way that we acknowledge the lyrics. And I was just watching a CIA video about the acknowledging dream state and how we do have like prophetic or certain acknowledgments and experiences that are based on reality, and you get to see like picture whatever you're doing, or like talk to people in your dream.
Yeah.
And they're acknowledging in that aspect, and you're like, I wonder if my dad knew it. I was just acknowledging those things, and also like they're literally in the industry, so they would, if a big conspiracy was going on.
Yeah.
You know, the way that they're talking about it sounds like, I already knew this was going to happen. And
Yeah, it does.
that's literally what they're saying in the lyrics. And it's so hilarious because that one song where it was like, I forgot you were reading it, and Mike said something, and he's like, this is what it sounds like. And then to make Chester sing that, because he's like, I'm the writer, I write everything.
Yeah.
Based off of Chester's song. So like,
hi everybody.
making him sing about those things and like knowing his demise is coming and being like,
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
Written
No, for
it.
real.
It's just like, damn.
No, these songs are heavily coded. They're extremely violent, and they express content that is definitely like it's just worth it. Like, this is just so crazy. Like to hear Mike literally say ever that nothing he says means anything, or that nothing the band said really means anything. It's just artistic expression is insane, because if you listen to these lyrics, like, they're not that.
What are you expressing if it's an artistic expression? What is an expression? If it's,
Yeah.
if we're supposed to take it literally, like, that has very strong presence and a strong acknowledgement concerning the ties that you have and the people that you see.
Yeah.
It's crazy to be asking for, what do you say, flood?
Yeah, he wants a flood. He wants an ocean.
He's literally a relief person who like profits off of natural disasters.
Well, that's what I was saying before, is that it's crazy that he says half the shit he says, when for a fact in early 2000, Chester and Mike, as a result of like 9/11 and anthrax and Afghanistan and things like that, like, they had to chill people the fuck out because there were people falling off balconies, people getting moshed into critical positions, like critical conditions. And so like they had to like tone down the anger and the violence. And they said they did that with, with This Is Minutes to Midnight, with 1,000 Suns, with Living Things, but like in reality, all they did was take the names out.
Also, I wonder whose choice it was to advocate for people doing better, because they haven't done that since they got back.
I agree.
No one has advocated to be nice to each other.
We're continuing here in a second, guys. No, yeah, it is crazy. And I said that was his responsibility. Like, how can you write violent lyrics when you literally are having to calm people down from being too violent because the world is as crazy as it is, and you're taking advantage of it. Like, you took advantage of the turn of the internet, you took advantage of the military industrial complex and the terrors that come with that to amplify your platform. And that's why hybrid theory was so fucking expensive.
Also, for the world to be crazier now, and you're not going to acknowledge any of it and just be like, okay, moving on.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's totally challenging. I think Mike is careless with his speech, and it's frustrating. But here we are with Final Masquerade. We're going to read Final Masquerade now, okay? Okay, here we go. This song is Final Masquerade. We're reading the last two songs off of The Hunting Party, which was one of the two albums not touched by Linkin Park during their reunion show. The lyrics read, tearing me apart with the words you wouldn't say, and suddenly tomorrow's a moment washed away. Because I don't have a reason, and you don't have the time, but we both keep on waiting for something we won't find. The light on the horizon was brighter yesterday. With shadows floating over, the scars began to fade. We said it was forever, but then it slipped away. standing at the end of the final masquerade. All I ever wanted, the secrets that you keep. All you ever wanted, the truth I could not speak. Because I can't see forgiveness, and you can't see the crime. And we both keep on waiting for what was left behind. This is so sad. And that was literally the entire song. The rest of it's just the same repetitions.
That's what I've been saying is like everyone's like the lyricism. It was like, but it's so repetitive.
It is.
Like,
This, yeah.
only like max like 20 words in these songs, like 30 words. It's interesting the way that people take credit.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I would say there are many obi-hos here. But I'll read it again. Tearing me apart with the words you wouldn't say, and suddenly tomorrow's a moment washed away. So they're saying that they are being affected by the way in which the person that they care about is not speaking to them because they're impatient. They're upset that they don't have the time and that the person that they're talking to can't find the reason for the pain that they've been through. They can't say it. That's interesting.
Well, I think it was common experience.
But we both keep waiting for something we won't find. Okay. Then he says, the light on the horizon was brighter yesterday. So the light's fading in the shadow of the day. In the shadow of the day. And embrace the world in gray. Who is that? Peeved B. You need help. 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 Shut up. You can either shut up or keep talking. I don't have a control over you. But you need help.
They're telling you that?
Yeah. Yeah, right now.
Weird.
I'm reading the literal lyrics that have been out since 2014. You get help. If you can't hold truth and you can't see the world around you, then get off the fucking chat. I don't care. I'm tired of all you fucking nonsense motherfuckers telling me I need help. Telling me to go kill myself. Shut the fuck up. Like you done anything. You listening? You know what's going on? Or are you just saying you need help, you need help, you need help?
But
Knock it off.
turn around and talk
You're ridiculous.
like they know him.
You can fuck off. That's what you can do. All I ever wanted, the secrets that you keep. All you ever wanted, the truth I couldn't speak. Because I can't see forgiveness for the truth that I can't tell you. And you can't see what it is that I did that's now making you keep secrets from me. Not wanting to talk to me, not wanting to be open. And we both keep waiting for what was left behind because in all honesty, in the shadow of the day, you cut that shit the fuck off and move on because there is no way to rectify any of that. You can't tell the truth. You can't acknowledge. You can't express. You can't anything. So I'm sorry I fucked you up, but we just got to keep rolling and we can't ever acknowledge it. The final masquerade. Standing at the end of the final masquerade. Masquerade, by the way, is a type of formal event in which people with affluence dress up really nice as people other than themselves, and they engage in like ballroom dancing and shit and whatever else that you could fucking imagine. Eyes wide shut type stuff maybe. But yeah. So here's the final song on the album. I hope you're listening, Captain Get Help. It's called A Line in the Sand. It's very much so perplexing as a song because it's like, if you're really saying nothing, then what the fuck is this? Today, we stood on the wall. We laughed at the sun. Remember 1,000 Suns, everybody? We laughed at the guns. Living things. We laughed at it all. And when they told us to go, we paid them no mind, like every other time. But little did we know. Today, I looked for a sign with flames in my hands. Isn't it funny how Mike Shinoda can say esoteric to Chester on the Genius interview when he's literally talking about the dynamics of self? And yet here they are talking about metaphysical practices. Earth, air, water, fire. Fire in the hands, third eyes. They're totally psychedelic. Do you see what's going on here? They're using knowledge, esoteric knowledge. They're using their music as a hyperdimensional format to encode messages about their reality that they are unable to do. They are a Banksy. You are a brainwash. Do you get the picture? It's like that.
Keep saying music is magic.
Music is magic, everybody.
That doesn't mean anything to us. We're just gonna keep seeing the same thing.
Today I look for a sign with flames in my hands, a line in the sand between yours and mine. And it came like a fire from below, which is not below, right? It's not the earth. It's the earth. It's earth, baby. It's the crystalline complex that is the body and mind. The fire of creativity, the spark of perception, the spark of life. Autobots, roll out. And it came like a fire from within. Your greed, it led that call. My flag had to fall, but little did you know. Another day, your truth will come. You're gonna pay for what you've done. Pay for what you've done. You'll get what's yours and face your crime. You'll tell them, give me back what's mine. But it's not yours, baby. It's not yours, ho. Mike says, I've never been a coward. We could have a long discussion about that. I'd never seen blood. What the fuck are you talking about? Is this before you saw all the blood and the lost and the sights unseen, or is this after? It's confusing.
He's already saying he's been lying.
Exactly. He's been saying he's been lying this entire time. We counting on a leader. We were driven by need, but couldn't take temptation. We were blinded by greed. He said it word for word. Aw, it's too bad that he gaslit all of you and abused you for so many years you couldn't even see it when he put it right in front of you.
He said, I masqueraded as a soldier so you would think I was on your side.
Yeah.
I've been a general this whole time, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you what to do. You thought you had to say so? I made you say so.
That's right. You were steady as a sniper. What did he say in the last album? I won't be standing next to you, little soldier. I'll be on the ground before you know it. Like that. That. You know what I'm talking about. He is a sniper. That's what he said. He said it right here. You were steady as a sniper. We were waiting on a wire. On a wire. You know what's really interesting about the term wire is that it could refer to the transfer of funds of greed from the money machine. It can also refer to phone talks, like calling you up. There's a lot of words that can be associated, a lot of context that can be associated with the term on the wire. But that is for interpretation. So we never saw it coming. When you ran from the fire, you can try intimidation and you can try to ignore. But when the time comes calling, you are going to get yours. That's a threat. That's a threat. Do you know how many people have told me I'm threatening online right now? You know how many people have told me I'm threatening? And Mike Shinoda is literally here saying, I am going to kill you. I'm going to do it. I'm coming for you. I wonder who he's fucking talking about. But, you know, Mike never says anything genuine, so don't listen to him. He's never said a real thing ever, okay? It's all jokes. It's all non-confrontation, okay?
Even if he said something, he's really saying nothing, but if it's something...
Yeah, you're right. If it is something, it's probably nothing. Because if you heard it from somebody, they might not know. So that nothing might be something, but it might also be nothing, right? You guys want to go down the nothing something train again? He likes talking nonsense so he can wrap you all up in fucking circles and then he can get whatever he wants from you. It's crazy.
Also, to branch, and my branch, his whole, like, I was a soldier, but actually I'm a general. Like, I only masqueraded as a soldier so you could think you had the lines. It's literally what he's doing. Or, like, what they've trained their audience to do in being their soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
or how they feel and what they say. Like his whole like, guys, it's organic. Like it's so annoying to me how much times they said organic in that Apple fucking thing, and then like one of the first comments I read underneath the thing was like, I love how organic, and I was like, oh my god, like this is so annoying. Like all the people who talk to you the way that they do, like all the people who are in the family and whatever,
Yeah.
and then all their like little followers will come and say the exact same thing to you without actually knowing what
Yeah, they don't ever check.
And then Mike's audience does the same thing. Like he'll say something in the audience, I'll look through the comments, and they'll be saying exactly what he said, and be like, it's just like, do you honestly think like that's free thinking, or like do you not see how you're just saying what he said, or is that intentional that you're just submitting right now to being the mimic for this train of thought? You know, like I was just it was interesting to see the soldiers doing soldiers work still in the way of mimicry and being someone else's voice, because they're not gonna say shit,
Yeah.
or like they're gonna say plain shit, and then everyone's gonna take the crumbs and be like, yes, I think that. Like, do you actually think that? Did you
Yeah.
actually listen and think that? Or did they tell you that's what it is and now you're just gonna repeat it? That's it. I just want to
I'm hearing you. I'm listening. Yeah, I totally think it's interesting that Mike Shinoda is literally saying that he's lied. He's masqueraded as something that he's not. And that everybody else in the band has as well. That they've taken advantage of the system to play the system. That in reality, Mike Shinoda was saying he is a ground soldier on the front lines, but really he's a sniper. I know right here they say that the sniper is the other person. They're saying someone else was sniping them, right? But he did say that he's a sniper, like earlier on. He said he'll be on the ground flat before you know it. You won't even be in his view. Little puppet.
That was the thing. He was like, oh, you think you're a sniper, but I'm a sniper.
Exactly. And he never says that he's a sniper. He doesn't say that. But then he implies it. He doesn't want to say it. That's liability. But if he implies it, it'll be all right because it's symbolic. You can interpret it. Shut up.
So prophetic.
Today, I looked for a sign with flames in my hands, a line in the sand between yours and mine, and it came like fire from below. Your greed led the call. My flag had to fall, but little did you know that another day your truth will come, that you're going to pay for what you've done, what I've done. I don't understand what he said. They said my name and asked me if it's a lie. I don't know if it's something I said. You know what I mean? You'll get what's yours and face your crime. You'll tell them, give me back what's mine. I'd never been a coward. I'd never seen blood. You sold me an ocean and I was lost in the flood. We were counting on a leader. We were driven by need, but couldn't take temptation. We were blinded by greed.
That's what Joe said. It was started as like a little guys group where we got together and we're racing together.
That's true. That is what Joe said.
Got lost.
Joe did say in the Zane Lowe interview yesterday that it started out as a small, innocent thing, and then, of course, it turned into the massive business venture that it currently is. I would say blinded by greed is a great way to describe that. You were steady as a sniper, meaning somebody was potting shots that were good shots. So somebody was shooting at them, and they were steady as fuck, and they were getting shot after shot. We were waiting on the wire. So we never saw it coming when you ran from the fire. So they're saying that there was a fire that they all gathered around. A perception, an idea, an environment, a system, something, right? This fire, that's what that stands for. That they didn't expect this person to run away because they were steady as a sniper. They saw them going, wow, you hit that, you did a great job protecting us, you did a great job talking to us, you did a great job covering fire. And then when they were on the wire waiting, this person ran away. And it turned out that they had been totally fucking disingenuous the entire time. That somebody lied to them. They tried intimidation. They tried to ignore what happened. But when the time comes, they're going to get their ass handed to them. Right? Another day, your truth will come. You're gonna pay for what you've done. Pay for what you've done. You'll get yours. Face your crime. You'll tell them, give me back what's mine. Give me back what's mine. And then what's the last thing they say here? Give me back what's mine. Give me back what's mine. And then it goes back to Mike and he says, today we stood on the wall. Which is really interesting, by the way, because Joe Hahn made a Wish You Were Here reference, which is a Pink Floyd reference. The Wall is a Pink Floyd album. Don't act like you can't. You have to hold them for as intelligent as they are. If he's going to make a fucking... You know how much history you have to understand about Pink Floyd to understand Wish You Were Here? Do you know how much you have to understand about Syd Barrett and the group's dynamic for that to make sense? People are asking me, why is that a big deal? Why do you not like that Mike Shinoda posted that album cover as a post? Because Syd Barrett left the band due to emotional, psychological stress. He did not return. Who's Syd Barrett in the situation? And who's Pink Floyd? So either Joe's crying out for help because he went too far and he needs help. And he just went out of control and he can't help it. Like before. What did he say on the Zane Lowe couch? He fucking got a look. He caught an eye from Brad. He said, yeah, I think that we all wanted to start out this way, just super creative and small as a group. And then, but then I feel like we kind of lost that sometimes in the past when we were our most successful. Like, I feel like some of the guys might have lost the perception of what we were trying to do. And Brad's sitting there and he goes, he's like, what the fuck is Joe talking about right now? Go ahead, watch it. It's insane. Okay? That happened. That's one of the times that Brad lost his shit. You could see it in his face. He was like, what the fuck? Why are you saying that? We don't want people to know things. They said, we laughed at the guns. We laughed at it all. And when they told us to go, we said no. We ignored them like we always do. We laughed it off. But little did we know. And that's the end of the album. The next album is One More Light, which is the second album that Linkin Park chose not to acknowledge in their wonderful reunion tour. LPU showcase. I thought that was interesting. That's why we're reading them, is because I thought it was interesting that Linkin Park went on stage. They did not play a single song from two albums, their most recent album and the album before that, where they called themselves fake, phony fucks. They said it themselves. They said they played you. They said they stole from you. They said they did it and they can't explain it and they won't explain it. And now they're in the machine and they're done cosplaying as fucking ground soldiers when they're really the ones running the entire operation. They are imitations of things that you relate to. They are not the thing you relate to. So in that all being said, it means that whatever Linkin Park is doing right now, in terms of the guys, it's exactly what it was always meant to be. Unfortunately, what they did yesterday and the day before is exactly who they are. It's what they want. It's what they came for. Period. So let's see.
It's crazy people telling you shit for taking these things seriously and analyzing behavior, because the whole point of why Chester happened the way it did was because people didn't take him seriously and didn't acknowledge what he was saying and what could be behind that. Instead it was oh, I relate to that. Yeah, sing it louder. Sing it again. Another show.
Yeah.
It's guys, yeah, we can blame the music industry as much as we want, but as consumers, you also have to acknowledge your role in that consumption.
Yeah, you have a responsibility to consume things.
How do you participate in the consumption? What
in a way.
Just how every time a celebrity is getting called out, people are yeah, for years we've known this, but people didn't take it seriously. Take it fucking seriously then. I know.
How long was R. Kelly out there?
Waiting.
How long was Diddy out there?
Well, we'll see.
How long?
We'll see. Take it seriously.
How long was Harvey Weinstein out there?
Acknowledge that how the music industry works. It takes advantage of its people in it. Be nicer to the people around them. We have this whole thing of soldiers' family. are stripped from their family, not able to participate in certain ways, and then you guys are like, you guys are whiny babies. We deserve the energy.
Yep.
What? Like that, of course we're gonna take these words seriously. Of course we're gonna take the Apple fucking interview seriously in the way that they talk to each other and participate in conversations or not. Because the whole reason we're in the position we are as a country and as human beings is because we don't take each other fucking seriously as human beings.
Yeah.
Instead it's, oh, it's just music, it's just lyrics. Yeah, you're writing about how you feel. And the same thing about you. Like, everyone wants to be like, you're mentally ill, da-da-da. It's like, no, guys, I'm talking about serious things. I have evidence for each thing I'm saying. Or I have a basis.
Literally, everything I've ever said,
like,
everybody, everything I've ever said, I have brought evidence to the table. I have brought it. I brought the articles. I brought the names. I brought the dates. I brought everything. There are people out there who will literally die on the hill that I'm just ranting uselessly. I should kill myself and whatever. But like, I'm presenting evidence. I'm giving you a dissertation on Linkin Park.
They don't want to hear it, or else their favorite band is going to be believing you wrong.
And live, I don't even edit the video. I'm just being honest. I'm just walking through it. I know this shit like the back of my hand. I'm literally giving you the time to give you a real-time response. That's how well I know the information. I'm not just ranting uselessly. I'm not just saying shit that doesn't matter. I'm saying what they said. I didn't write the fucking lyrics. It's like when there were people who came up to me and they're like, oh my God, it's literally just a testimony that Reddit girl, that 13-year-old who supposedly was essayed by your dad. Like, you shouldn't even take that seriously. It's like, I didn't write the story. People are telling me, well, you said Chester. No, I didn't. I said there was potential. We should hold space for people who could be disadvantaged by the power dynamic intrinsic to celebrity worship. Hello. People want to tell me, oh, you should stop talking about it. I didn't write the fucking story. I saw it. I brought it to you. Okay? And? Who wants to go read it? Who wants to go help me find the person? Who wants to be involved? Who wants to find solutions? Who wants to heal? Who wants to help? Huh? No. Nobody. I'm just fucking hysterical. It's like, I didn't write the lyrics. We just went through an album from 2010, 12, and 14.
You didn't write them, but you resonate the hell out with them. The whole time I was listening, I was like, that sounds like that person in your family. That sounds like this person in your family. That sounds like this situation you're in. Wow, that sounds like this. Like, I can see where this was coming from. Like, because Mike says he writes about Chester's life. Yeah. And the whole band's life. But a lot of what I've heard was Chester's life. And I can see a lot of comparisons, and it's just like, of course it was fucking hard. Look at the way that people are talking to you.
Yeah, for real.
Evidence. Imagine he actually tried to talk about this shit and get it taken seriously. Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
guys.
Even after they went on this whole parade of Chester was just too weak. That's why he did that. And
guys.
Y'all are insane.
It literally took him falling on his own sword for anybody to take me seriously. Like, there were like 5-10 people that really took me seriously about anything that I was saying over the last year. Okay? Like, truly, there's like a core group. And then everybody else was like, why are you even talking about this? Why can't you just let go? Nobody cares about your opinion. Like, first of all, he's my dad. Second of all, this isn't okay. Third of all, like, you wouldn't believe me about Mike until it made sense to you. A lot of these people who are now apologizing, a lot of these people who are now going, oh, well, shit, this stuff must be real now. It's only real because Emily Armstrong is a Scientologist. It's only real because of Danny Masterson. It's not real because of me. It's not real because my dad fucking died. It's not real because what I said was taken seriously. How many people went to they were fucking like, oh my God, I can't wait to go to the Linkin Park show. Oh my God, I hope I got a ticket. I hope Willy Wonka chose me. Like, come on. So I wanted to circle back real quick to the Emptiness Machine, because I think that now we've gone through the lyrics, it'd be actually kind of useful to go and look at the most recent iteration of Mike Shinoda's unparalleled insane flow. The Emptiness Machine goes, your blades are sharpened with precision. flashing your favorite point of view. I know you are waiting in the distance, just like you always have. Already you're pulling me in. Already you're under my skin. And I know exactly how this ends. I give up myself for you while you cut me just to see me bleed with those knives that you sharpened with precision. And by the way, that means that the cutting and bleeding is being done by the expression of a point of view that they find discomforting. There you go. Wow. So when they say, I let you cut me open just to watch me bleed, they're saying that I let you, the one who sharpens your blades, which are your perspective, and I will have to allow you to cut me up with your perspective and become unlike myself. I gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. Don't know why I'm hoping for what I won't receive, which is, of course, being allowed to be yourself and not having to conform to someone else's definition of what you should be, which is ironic as fuck. Falling for the promise of the emptiness machine, which again, Linkin Park is referred to as the Linkin Park machine. Go back and listen to Zane Lowe say it. He says it in yesterday's interview. Going around like a revolver. So in this case, the knife, which is precisely sharpened and therefore is the embodiment of the perspective of the individual he's talking about, is synonymous with a gun. A gun, a knife. I can shoot it, I could drop it. You can't stop it, learn how to respect it. Like that, right? And here we have them saying that they're going around like a gun, deciding my own fate, even though it's been decided. Because I keep lying to the fire at the altar. So hold on a second. Wait. Let me extrapolate. Let me walk backwards real quick. We read those lyrics, right? We went through those. So if the fire is something that these people, join around, it's an idea, perception, a system of thought, a goal in common, right? You join a record label, you think you're going to do X, Y, and Z, you end up doing something totally different, and you're blindsided by it because it's in your contract, but you didn't know that. You end up being enslaved for 17 years and then being killed while you're on tour. Crazy. This fire, is it always under the altar? Is there always an altar? That's my question. Is that every time there was a fire, was there an altar? Was there a ceremonial set dressing? Wait, yeah, kind of. The altar would be the band, right? The altar is literally the alternate identity of the people involved. They go by Linkin Park. The altar is also simultaneously on the other side of the coin of the word. It is the actual magical ceremony itself. It is the intention giving. It's the bloodletting, right? I only wanted to be part of something. And now you cut me just to watch me bleed with your perspective that is so agonizing. It hurts me. Don't know why I'm hoping for something that I deserve. I'm so naive. Falling for the promise of the machine. And what was that line about greed blinding? What was that line Rakim had about the green? What was that line that Joe had about it was supposed to be a small artistic endeavor and it just kind of blew up into something else? There are a total of 11 tracks on this album. From Zero, The Emptiness Machine, Cut the Bridge, Heavy is the Crown, Over Each Other, Casualty, The Keys to the Kingdom, Down That Hole in My Eye, I'm My Own, Casualty, I fuck up everything I see, Fighting in Futility. Man, why is everything so heavy? Overflow. Two-faced. Well, that's going to be a fun one since you are the Two-Face. Stained. IGYEIH, whatever the hell that stands for. And good things to go. Not good things to come. Good things to go. And look, there's a guy named Bird75 down here who says Chester would be proud. No, he wouldn't. In fact, if Chester were proud, he'd still be alive.
I think it's so funny. Everyone
Period.
fucking talk for Chester. As if they fucking named him.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the fans like to say that they know Chester, but they only know Linkin Park Chester. They only know Linkin Park Chester.
Right? But they have the ability to say, Chester, we got this for you, Chester. Who are you talking to? It's not fucking here.
Yeah, who are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Great question. Well, there we go, guys. I think I vented the shit out of that. I think I made a pretty good point. Now it's time for me to hold space for all of you. I'll give it about 30 minutes. I'm probably going to do a cool down meditation. I'll play some music, allow you guys to talk, come back. And so if anybody has any questions or any emotions to release, please do that, because I am here for you. Like I said, I'm here to vent for myself, but I'm also here to hold space for you. In some ways, we're doing it at the same time, but also I want you to be able to have a chance to interact. As fans of a base that was assimilated by someone who does not give a fuck about your abuse, your neglect, your victimization, I need to be there for you right now. I'm so sorry to all of those who have relied on Linkin Park for their emotional release, for their emotional processing, that the band has become what it has become, that they have ignored the very real reality and context in which the death of my father occurred, and that they are willing to eat your soul, overlooking you in the eyes. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry that Emily talked to you like that. I'm sorry that Mike Shinoda has ignored you like that. I'm sorry that all the other guys are cagey, apparently impenetrable fortresses of stupidity and absurdity. Because I'll tell you what, that whole mustard conversation, Brad knows how to destabilize. Brad knows. Keep in mind, there were certain people talking for a certain time. Remember, in the beginning of Linkin Park, it was all the people. And after a while, they didn't want to hear from Joe anymore. They didn't want to hear from Brad anymore. They didn't want to hear from Dave anymore. I kind of understand why after yesterday's interview. It became Chester and Mike. Rob, he doesn't really do much talking either, does he? But again, where is Rob Borden? Why is there no official message on his end? Why is it that he's nowhere to be found? He should have written a letter, correct? Brad did. Brad didn't even have to show his face. He could tell you guys that he's going to make you buy an album he's not even going to tour.
But it's so the guys could be together again.
Yeah. It's so the guys could be together again. You know how much they missed this. I mean, like they all said, they don't have opinions on things. They just were influenced by music at a young age. And that's pretty much the entire story. Right? That's it. It's just that you like playing bass. That's what brought you here. You like playing bass, Dave? And we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future, what people they allow to talk. Because I'll tell you what, in that interview, Joe was thrown away. Colin was thrown away. Brad just destabilized shit. He literally tore Dave apart, which was amazing to watch. And nobody thought that... Everybody was like, oh, that's like what you were 20 years ago. Oh. And it's like, that was an asshole thing to say. You're literally telling Dave, I don't even know what this guy fucking... You want to know what we were doing for 6 hours? You want to know you want to know what the songwriting sessions look like? It looks like that. He just talks about Mustard forever. What the fuck is he even talking about? Who even the fuck is this guy? It's not funny, Brad. It's not fucking funny. You just tore Dave down in front of everybody. He's over here trying to be fucking excited. But no. You want to go ahead and mustard that motherfucker. Okay. Seems like there's a significant amount of empathy lacking from the circumstance of the situation. And that doesn't seem to be something that I'm the only one feeling. So please, accept my apology if it applies to you, if it resonates with you. I take responsibility for the people in my life. As we know with Ryan Shuck, a month or so ago, I called out Ryan and I called out Sean, and they both came after me. And no, I'm here for you. I'm here for victims. I'm here for myself. I'm here to hold fucking space. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for allowing me to vent. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it so much that you've chosen to join me around this proverbial campfire, that you've chosen to take the time out of your day to be present with me. Genuinely, it makes my day. I'm not feeling good today, okay? Now, with that being said, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. I'm going to come back to the chat. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has any feelings, if anybody has anything resonant that they would like to share, please put it in the chat, and I will do my best to cover everything before we get off. That's it. I'm going to smoke now because this shit is exhausting.
I have a quick comment because...
Okay, G has a comment. I'm going to pee real quick. I'm listening now.
Percolating. I thought it was interesting how, or when we were looking into the band and stuff, when you started questioning Chester's deathbed, I remember looking at certain interviews and we were watching how they interacted with the person, and usually journalists are like actually trying to ask them about their thoughts about the music, why they wrote things, certain things, and they're just like pissing off the whole time, and then they get to write it off as, we're just dudes. But like currently one of like the things on my YouTube feed a lot is like Blake Lively, the way she interacts in interviews and da. I think it's so interesting how Linkin Park continues to not have to give a fuck about anything or anyone else besides themselves, and like they're still seen as really great guys and really genuine, and like, but like they weren't when they were together. Like how you were saying that when Brad and what's his name were still on the interviews and stuff, just how the one on the Apple, it was like interesting to see the dynamic between everyone and how they were treating a journalist trying to actually do an interview. Like I'm thinking, like if I was a journalist, any journalistic integrity left in me, and like actually trying to do my job, and I had to interview them, I would have such a hard time. I would be so upset. I'd just be upset. I'd be annoyed. Just how the fucking person in the Blake Lively interview, when the Blake Lively and the fucking person who sings in the, what's her name? Anna Kendrick, they just like start talking to each other and like whatever. I feel like that's what the band does a lot, and everyone was like, oh, she must have felt so disrespected and da. But like, men get away with so much shit that women get so much. Men get away with so much shit, and it's so irritating. And every time I look at Linkin Park, I just remember misogyny, and I thought it was so funny that Mike making a point to be like, we're not sexist. We're not sexist. But I remember I had a point where like I had a hard time watching Linkin Park with female interviewers because of the way they would treat the women, and I was just like, why are they doing that? I'd be like, people think this is fine. Like I'd look at the comments to try and see if anyone was acknowledging it, and no one would, and I was like, what the fuck? But I'd be like, whatever. It was the early 2000s energy. Guys get to really do whatever the fuck they want. It's insane. I had that comment. I don't even know what I was saying. Did you hear me?
No.
Really?
Yeah, the door was shut. I was using the restroom. I said I gotta go.
Oh, I was talking about how there's such a double standard in the way that they're interacting with interviewers and journalists. Yeah. And how they just laugh in the face of journalistic integrity for the sake of, we're just dudes.
Literally all the time.
And how they're really riding on the fact that they're just dudes and the whole like we're not sexist, but like I personally had a hard time watching their interviews with women because they would treat them badly.
Yeah,
but then
I did too. I was surprised. I was like, what the fuck?
You would have to remind me. You're like, that's just how they are. That's just how they are. That's just how they are. And I was like, I would be so fucking annoyed. Like, no, it's irritating to see them be able to behave in such a way, and other people get dragged for similar or more justified behavior.
Yeah, I do remember watching them.
A.E., you trying to talk about how you think your dad is wrongfully fucking... how do you say it? It was labeled wrong? The wrongful death? Damn, I had a whole other thing, but that just really made me upset. In the closet.
I figured out how to do my dream song on the flute because I'm a G like that. Like, when I tell you all that I've never been more inspired to just write a track. Like, I don't like writing music like that. I like making the music. Sometimes words will come. Maybe. I like music for music. I had never, ever truly been able to, like, embody the idea, like, of a diss track or, like, writing music in response to something, like, an immediate something. But, like, I'm motivated as fuck right now. I want to write, like, the craziest song you ever heard where I lay out my thoughts and feelings. That's how I feel. Like, I feel like I just need to fucking ba-ba-ba-ba. You know what I mean? Like, it just needs to be. Because this is just such a fucking insane, ruthless, uncaring place. Just the environment. And I'm fucking over not caring. It's not even that I care too much. Because I care enough. But there are so many people who don't care enough. That's what I mean. It's like, I'm not the one. It's not too much. It's that it's not enough. And that's how I feel. Like, after all of this, I literally want to get on a mic and just, like, annihilate. That's what I want to do. That's all I want to do. But I can't. I'm literally morally, honorably bound to, like, not fuck off like that.
Legally.
And legally. I'm not. Yeah, legally too. You're correct. And sentence. La 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 la. You know, Kendrick can just fucking fire off on Drake because he got money and he got people and he's got things like that. But, like, me? It's just me and G over here. In all reality. We don't got an Avenger squad to come and swoop us out of things. We got GoFundMe accounts and we got fucking Goodwill. That's it. Which, that's not to say it's still active, but the account. But damn, man, like, that's just so sad. Like I'm literally the kid in this situation. I'm the kid in this situation. It's crazy. I didn't even get to be 20. I was 23 when I met G. In 2019, that's when everything got really wild.
20 years old. Oh, that's something I was talking to Jamie about. Was
20s.
like how crazy it, or I was reminiscing back on like the way I was able to articulate myself, even though I was going through such severe like healing and like trauma acknowledgements at the time that I met Jamie. And I was like, no, I was so vocal about what I was going through with your family. And so, like, I know why I was so impacted. Like, how I said, I literally got diagnosed with CPTSD from this situation and just knowing you.
They did.
And
that's a fun story.
Yeah, no. Of literally remembering telling them, like, hey, guys, I'm going through a lot right now. It'd be really beneficial to have this, and everyone being like, yeah, we're gonna be here for you. We hold space. We're a family here. We talk about
the same way that Samantha did it.
Literally, that's what I said was the catalyst for, like, it's crazy to think about people being like, emotional damage, you're causing me emotional damage by talking about how you're affected, but like you're literally causing us such emotional damage. Like we said, we were traumatized as children, experiencing the reality that we were in and the way that our parents were able or unable to acknowledge us and their reality around them. And just talking about that and acknowledging that we were in that space of healing and trying to communicate and trying to advocate for our own well-being and like actually feel safe enough to express things. And then right when we start expressing, it's like, punch you in the face, I'm gonna kick you out, actually you're not a part of the family. And it's like, guys, how did you expect us to interact with that? Like we're literally, you guys are like, well, you're sick and you're spiraling. Yeah, I wonder why. I really wonder why. Is it because you continue to do the things that we're saying is hurting us? Like, Sam, like, we literally said, hey, I really need you to do the thing if you're telling me you're going to do the thing, because I can't have another person come say that they're going to fucking help and then turn around and betray us. What did I just say on the last time I was on here? I was like, I literally can't trust nobody no more, because, like, in my whole life, nothing has, like, been trustworthy or like people follow through on their actions even though they know how impeded I am and need that, and they're promising it and they say they have the means and they have the time, and then they just strip it away from you and they're mad that you're impacted by that, and then they just call you crazy. And it's like, that's literally insane.
They literally call me crazy.
That's what I'm saying, is like seeing how...
What did you say? Sick like daddy?
Yeah, no, I remember the other thing I was going to say that about Linkin Park. The poverty cosplay, that annoyed the shit out of me as well, because everyone wants to talk about like celebrities.
In specific, what they're talking about is the what we call poverty cosplay that takes place in the Empty Machine music video, because all the band members are doing menial, normal people jobs and tasks, and they're acting like it's the end of the fucking world.
But also, like, the song for me, felt like them being like, you guys are pushing me to do this instead of letting me be the rock star that I wanted to be. But it's like, nobody made you do that. You didn't even do that when the 7 years was going by. Like, you guys literally got to live the lives. You guys still profited off of the, records and shit. Like,
the box sets and the greatest hit album.
People are out here barely able to fucking... We were out here barely able to eat, and we didn't even have heat.
we had a small space heater in one room for all winter, this last winter, and the HVAC didn't work at all.
And then they come in and they're like, oh, we're so sad because we had to work normal jobs. No, you didn't.
You're worth $65 million, and you're also, like, oh, normal jobs. Okay, Jason.
Yeah, it is an emptiness.
Who's that? Who's that guy?
Hold space for the people who are impacted by that everyday life experience.
He's one of not Cody Ko's guys, but the fucking other guy, David Dobrik, the Jason guy who's on TikTok all the time begging for money, and he's like refuses to do normal people jobs. People are like all the time like, hey, Jason, why? We know you're on the outs with this guy, but like, why are you on TikTok literally begging for money all day? And he's like, well, because of this X, Y, and Z. And they're like, but why don't you just get a job? Like, you could work a job and like get rent paid. And no, I'm above that. It's like he's got this whole complex of like, I don't need to work, and it's like, what the fuck? What do you mean?
Literally your whole family, though.
I know.
Like, they refuse to work and instead ride off of Chester's name while then criticizing you, even though you only been here for a year. You've been out here for a year, and then people will be like, well, you're only talking now. And then they'll be like, shut up, you've only been talking. And it's like, what?
But also, like, nobody wants to, in that conversation of like, oh, well, you didn't talk until now. Nobody who asks that or says that of me ever thinks about how I got here, what actually happened, if I said anything about it. Like, I'm here for a reason. I'm here this way for a reason.
Or
like,
things
how
about,
happened?
like, what was the situation?
Circumstance.
What was the situation and environment that led Jamie to not think that they could talk about it, or not even be able to have the capacity to question their father's death? Like, who were they around? What kind of things were they getting when they did say, hey, I'm actually thinking about it? All they got was, you're crazy, you're insane.
Almost all the stuff that I brought...
We're going to talk about it publicly that we think that, but if you do it, you're insane.
Most of the stuff that I brought to the surface at the beginning was stuff that happened around the time that Chester died. And it was like, I'm telling you guys like what I'm going through, or not all of you, because some of you are new and all that, but you know, I've been telling people who are watching, like, this is terrible. Like, this is what's going on. And they're like, well, you just came out. And it's like, yes, there is a point in my social media presence where I had to literally leave the internet after multiple failed attempts to be myself, because I was literally being shadow banned and controlled and coerced by a secret organization or an organization's secret influence. Even now, I got how many followers on YouTube? How many views on each of my videos? Yes, they're longer form, but how many people in the world exist? How many people like watching TV shows at work with AirPods in? Come on. You couldn't listen to a podcast? It's the same shit. You just turn the screen off or you just put the phone down. You could listen. And that's the thing, is like, I don't think that there's so many people ignoring me. I think that there are so many people who aren't able to communicate with me, or I'm not made visible to. Like I said, I'm not worried about the hacker. Last year I said this. I'm not worried about the hacker. The hacker's just a troll. Because the people I'm talking about are at such high places at this point in the game that they are the platform. It's not a matter of like, oh, the only reason someone is hacking me at all and failing is because they're trolling me. They're fishing for information. They didn't succeed one time. And it's like, okay, let's think about that. What influence would only troll to get reactive responses from somebody? I use the word Cold War multiple times.
I think it's funny, too, to acknowledge that when we went to certain people and tried to talk to them, they were like, oh my god, Jamie, you're a cult leader. And I was like, we don't even talk to anyone. Who are we leading? We literally only talk to each other and fucking animals and trees.
Yeah. And today I was backstabbed by somebody that was following me. Yeah. So it's like, how can I be a cult leader in any kind of eccentric way when people don't even treat me like a human being?
Or like everyone who does talk to you talks to you in such a way that like, I don't know, they keep, like, let's say, Mandel, like, they'll come up to you and be like, yeah, I'm talking to you and I'm going to say I agree with you and whatever, but I actually don't, or I'm just going to continue to fight you on this thing, and then, like, when somebody else who already negated me decides that they're going to acknowledge me again, I'm going to go back to them. And it's like, it's so, what I was getting to was that, like, people calling you a cult leader, and then Mike Shinoda literally coming out with someone who is in a cult, and getting heart emojis for that. Like, they're getting so much love and praise, and no acknowledgement of, like, what they're actually participating in, but, like, you get fucking blown the fuck up if you came out as
Bro,
a Scientologist.
I can only just now at the moment begin to express. Like, you think that this is a lot? You think the things I brought to the table are a lot? Like, the people following along? You think that everything here is a lot? Okay. That's only the surface of my life. Like, that's the peripheral. That's not in the environment. You're not in the moment. You're not in here with me. You're not... Again...
Also, like, everyone
there's a half-life to everything. And you don't know. There's more to say. Of course, there's always more to say. You just don't know.
You're crazy. But it's like, look at the environment I'm in. Look at the way people are participating with me. Look at the way that I'm trying to hold actual conversations about real-life things and really impactful fucking circumstance, and look at the engagement I'm getting. Look at what people are not looking at, and look at what they are. Yeah, I feel like that would drive anyone crazy.
Yeah, that's why I've been going crazy.
I'm not even crazy. I'm just talking about the thing and how I feel about it.
I've been jumping off my live stream, right? I did that last time because I was just like, dude, what the fuck? It drives you crazy. It's like, no, I can't even handle this anymore. Like, if this is the way it's going to be, we're not doing it. I'll do it differently then, because that drives me crazy. I'm literally talking about the thing and people aren't responding.
I'm glad you did that first.
And it's not a bad thing. It's not like, oh, I'm just pissed off forever. It's just like, no, that moment was hard because I was talking about Kyle. I was talking about victims of the situation, and I'm one of them. And this entire time, I've been just supporting myself, but also, like, in a way, I have to introduce who I am, and I have to embody my practice and my experience, and I have to make mistakes, and I have to practice mistakes. Like, I didn't mean to fucking show everybody Draven's number. I just wanted people to really know that I had texted Draven like 3 times over the last 6 months. Asked him to be a part of my life. Asked him to be a part of the projects. Asked him to fucking just like, if I could hear what he's doing. You know, I sent him the playlist when I was working on it. I've said this before. You know, I this year, oh, this is the story I didn't share. Like, this year, I told him, there's a message, either a voice memo or a phone call with a voicemail. I said to him, literally, almost verbatim, like, I forgot to call you about this one particular day, and I believe it was 3/20. I believe it was Chester's birthday. And I was like, I just didn't call you because I didn't know I could call you. Like, I'm just literally right now getting used to having you in my life. You came back in October, like, of last year. So, like, I think it was even of the same year, because I think when I was talking to him, it was still the same year. It was still winter. And, like, right before the year changed. And I was just like, I just forgot that I can interact with you, and it's strange to me that I'm allowed to just call you. Like, I've never been allowed to just call Draven. You know?
People in general.
And, yeah, well, really people in general, but also, like, my brother. Like, I don't have a relationship with Draven. And before I did the whole thing with Samantha, I was literally going to apologize to him without her. I was going to come online and say, I'm sorry for all of this. And, you know, talk to him and be with him. And, or try to, you know, that would be my, hey, I'm sorry, can we work this out, you know? And that's when she got involved. So it's like, I don't know. There are just, like, a lot of things about the situation that drive me crazy. Like, that's one of them. The one before is one of them. But, like, also, like, all of this is digital. This isn't physical. 99% of every interaction I have in this sphere of my life is incorporeal. It's literally an energetic interaction. It's like a psychic phenomenon. There's no body. There's no fucking... Even Rob McDermott, the first manager of Linkin Park, he's over here praising Linkin Park, but he literally weeks ago offered to send me the plaques that Samantha refused to send me after we had our breakdown. And he's like, I want to send them to you. I just want to be a mediator. I want to help out. And I was like, oh, cool. That's really nice of you. Do you mind if I said I don't mind scheduling like a shipping with you. I don't mind that at all. Just let me know. And then, you know, like, I also would like to talk to you as somebody who knew my dad, as somebody who knew me. Would you be willing to do that? No response. I check up on him. Hey, it's been a while. I was just checking in with you about the plaques. No response. He's over here fucking praising...
Because guess what? They have more affluence and ability to give him opportunity. This is what I was trying to say, is like, it's so irritating that we're losing humanity to money opportunity, to experience opportunity. And instead of being able to hold space for people and have these conversations that might be hard, you're unwilling to put yourself through that because I don't have to. Like, what I was saying is like, yeah, of course it's all online because they have enough money to put walls up in between you. They have enough money to have that space. I was just thinking about, like, in old days, if, like, you had a problem with someone, you had to, like, face it out face to face, you know, and that makes you, like, have that more human interaction. You're seeing the person in front of you that you're affecting. You're having to go through the woes of emotions that come up in time, rather than being like, I'm going to say this triggering thing and throw my phone away for 10 hours, and if they haven't thought about that, that's their fault. Like, that is insane, the way that we treat each other, and
I agree.
Are unable to acknowledge the ways that we affect each other for our own gain and our own quote-unquote peace. So much things are done in the name of fucking personal peace and fucking whatever, but
Jesus
it's so
Christ.
it's so much just cowardice, like inability to acknowledge where you might have did something wrong, something you don't agree with, to go back and analyze, hey, did I actually want to do that? Instead, people are like, I could just block that person and never think about it, and just keep thinking of myself as this great person. Like, that's insane to me. I've just been thinking about it lately because of the circumstances that we're in, and that's how everyone is, because they have the power and ability to be with the people around you. And it's just so sad. It just makes me sad, so I want to talk about it.
Thank you for talking about it. It's really cool that you talk about it. I appreciate that. I'm glad you don't wait for an invitation.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it does.
So God.
Yeah, it does hurt me sometimes, but.
No, that's what I was saying. It's like,
but it's okay.
It's the
I'm glad you
point
do
of like what we were talking about before. Of like, sometimes I had said before, like, sometimes I block Jamie because what they're saying is like when they're in an episode and I know they don't agree with the words and it wouldn't be helpful for me to hear them, but I also don't block them, and I also end up listening to their things anyways, because I'm like, damn, okay, they're actually feeling this, so I want to give them time to hear it. But like, even being like, fine, I'll go have the conversation anyways, like, we'll end up talking anyways. I'll block you for like 5 minutes so I can think about my fucking thing, or like go on a little drive, and then I'll be like, okay, fine, I'll talk to you even though you're in your episode. Like, I can acknowledge you're trying your best. That was my point of like people saying, you need help, instead of like acknowledging someone's actual mental state and capability to have a conversation, and how their traumas affect them. Instead, people are just like, you're sick, you can't do this, so goodbye. And it's like, look at the person you're talking to. They're literally saying, hey, I've been traumatized, I have these things. Everyone just wants, like, I'll go to someone and be like, hey, I don't have the ability to talk to people because of X, Y, and Z. So I'm trying my hardest when I'm talking to you. And I'll say something a little off, and they're like, never want to talk to you again, and that's my right because I don't have to do that. And I was like, I didn't even say anything.
Hurts too much, bro. Like,
I didn't even say anything wrong, though. And we could literally be fine right now.
Yeah.
Like, we could be having the conversation. We could be moving through the thing. Like, we could acknowledge we're strangers that don't know each other and we're just trying to communicate. Instead, it's, okay, bye. Yeah, it's so weird how we do that to each other, to me. I'm just, like, not acknowledging where other people are and holding that space. Like, the whole Samantha thing, when I was walking by, was when you guys, like, the disarray started happening, and you were like, no, Sam, I'm really just trying to say this thing. And she was like, I will literally hang up right now. And you're like, okay, then bye. Like, if you're going to be threatening me just because I'm trying to have a conversation about our interaction, yeah, I see why you wouldn't want to be in that conversation. I have too many thoughts. They're all compiling, and it's getting sludgy.
It sounds clear.
I don't think so.
Because you probably weren't intending to go exactly there, but I think I understand.
And just talking in general, like, mental health awareness has not been actual awareness. It's just like making the person who is having those mental health problems feel bad for being mentally impaired. to you they're mentally impaired, rather than just that's how they are now because of things that they went through, or that's how their brain works. Like, we're so quick to label and judge each other rather than acknowledge we've all been through different shit and speak differently, interact differently, don't know certain social cues.
Yeah,
like,
social cues are a big thing.
People will tell you, you don't act like that, Jamie, you're not supposed to. Okay, like I said, I didn't have a family. Like I said, I don't know how people are, Dad. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I literally told that to my father in 2016.
And we were just talking about that. That's what I pointed out.
Yeah, I just like, you know, we sat down at Cirque Lodge, and they had me and him in front of all these other people. Chester Bennington and Jamie sitting in a circle with a bunch of randos in Utah Sundance for family week because Dad's been imprisoned again. He's an alcoholic this time. And it comes to my turn, and they're like, hey, do you want to say anything? I'm like, oh, say anything? Maybe. I don't really know what to say, though. Like, I just don't know. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, huh. I just told him, just straight from the heart, like, I just don't know what anything is. I don't know what a dad's supposed to be. I don't know what a friend is supposed to be. I don't know what, like, I get there's, like, the archetype, right? Like, there's the outline, the shape of it, the water. But why, why does anything happen? I just don't know. And I don't want to say it's all you, but, like, yeah, you're a big part of that. You know, you're Chester Bennington.
If that's what it's supposed to be, why is it not that?
Yeah. And,
you want me to treat you like it's that, but it's not.
I was in college at this time, too. This was like January or February. And by that time next year, in 2017, I would tell Chester. He'd be the only parent I told that I was suicidal. Without telling him, of course, because I didn't think that's what I was. I was like, I love life. I just, like, my body hurts all the time and my mind doesn't shut the fuck up. Can't sleep. My feelings hurt all the time. And I'm pretty sure that I hate everything, but I like things, though. It's very confusing. And I told him that. I was like, I don't want to die. I don't want to not be here anymore. I like what I am. I love my siblings and whatnot. Like, I love my friends. I love the things that I'm becoming, I have a very specific path in life mapped out for myself. I just don't understand why it has to hurt so bad. Why does it gotta hurt? Why is everything so heavy? And, I had the good grades. I was fit. I went to the gym all the time. I rode my bike everywhere. I had, friends and projects that I did on my own, like my John Williams case study, and ran my website and things like that. But, like, I was so sad all the time. Like, it hurt all the time. And he was like, yeah, I went through the same thing. My entire life, I went through the same thing. I'm still going through it. I really don't have a solution for you, and I'm sorry. It's like, I've done a lot of things to, like, figure it out, but I haven't figured it out. I don't understand. But I see you, and what you're experiencing is valid. And then for the next 6 months, he slowly disappeared until he died. By suicide, allegedly. It's crazy. And that's why I laughed, and all the people who were like, oh, you should kill yourself or whatever. It's like, what do you mean? I wasn't even there. I was dodging my dad that summer. I was like, bro, this is my summer. I'm in my junior year of college. I'm going into my senior year. I don't want to be wrapped up in this melodramatic bullshit that we call our shared family life. I just want to be in Tucson by myself. And so it was a big thing for me to tell him anything, And I did tell him, and he did respond. And then he faded into literal ashes. I guess. I don't even think I've seen those, to be honest. Seriously seen them. And there's just, like, I don't know. That kind of brings me back to just, like, how crazy it is. Like, it really does drive you a little fucking bananas. I've been living in the spirit realms almost exclusively with people's incorporeal forms as ghosts, haunting me for, like, the last 7 years. It's crazy.
I think it's crazy how people continue to get to speak for Chester. Be like, Chester would be so proud. Well, Chester would say this. Chester would not like this. And it's like, how do y'all know? Can we stop speaking for someone else? Or, like, it's interesting currently seeing a lot of interviewers, or, like, the one, I'm specifically thinking of the interviewer with who did the one with Mike the day after their live. It was like,
the radio
wow,
show.
Chester would love what you guys are doing. Don't, like, and no one stops them from speaking for Chester. everyone can say, Chester would hate what you're doing, shut up. Chester would be disappointed in you. And it was like, if you put your foot down and said, stop speaking for Chester, I don't know, I think it'd be still impactful, but it's just because I see how people love to use Chester's name to put you down and literally tell you to fucking die. That you have no right to talk about anything going on, but they do. It's...
Oh yeah, by the way, people
crazy.
have actually been talking to me that way in the comment section of both Colin and Emily's Instagram profiles. So... They, as far as I'm aware, they have not been corrected. They have not been encouraged into empathy. There's been zero response, so I think that's really interesting. Now that you said that reminded me.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, it is.
But it's probably...
There's literally somebody on Emily's profile that said, "We don't care about your opinion."
Yeah, doesn't Scientology, like, blame people for their mental health too, though, so they probably don't give a fuck and think it's you doing the thing, which people in your family literally tell you, Jamie, it's just you, like, you're the problem in your head. It's like, no, like, your guys' actions are, and, like, we could talk about it, and that could, like, help me in my head, but you're not willing to talk about it. Okay. So do you care about who I am, how I am, or not? Okay.
Yeah, for real. It's a real question. When Renee Mata was like, half the shit you say I fucking agree with, but you mess with Draven and you mess with Grandma? No way. I'm like, okay, bro.
Like, who else is messing with Draven?
Do you guys know what I did to mess with Susan? You know how I messed with Grandma? You know what I did? It was so bad. I called her multiple times to confront the allegation Samantha made against me.
It's not even an allegation.
I know. No, I already covered it. It's not an allegation. I say that sarcastically now. Because she just said it to me in a moment of hate and then she ran away. Nobody else commented on it, right? What happened was Samantha accused me of sexually assaulting my cousin because I compared her to people in my life that I have had problems with. I said, you're this kind of difficult, and this is and then I listed out the pattern of behavior that I had recognized in our interactions and said, I believe that this keeps happening, and I would like for that to change. She responded with, you molested my nephew, and your brother's not your blood brother, and he doesn't want you, basically. So...
It's crazy, because that's what the person you compared her to fucking did as well.
It's a very interesting situation. And, and that's when Draven came in and did the Falcon swoop and attacked me and ran away. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm the one who made the allegation public. Samantha said that about me. And then I said she said it about me. And then I went and called my aunt, the mother of the son, and said, I want to be a part of the solution. Please help me. I'm so sorry if this happened. I want to hold space for Jacob. And, you know, I just, whether I did it or not, you know, whether he thinks I did something or I actually did something, whatever it is, I don't care. I want to be there for him. I want him to be handled correctly. Like, I want this situation to be taken seriously, and I want the victim to not have to suffer. And Toby blocked me after that. And then I went and called Grandma, because Susan said she never wanted to lose me again after last year. We reunited last year on the 6-year death anniversary. And she said she never wanted to, like, lose me again and all this stuff. And there was a period of time we didn't talk, and it wasn't hard feelings or anything. She had, like, reopened an old wound, literally, and she had to heal from it. And she lives with Toby, and she's got a bunch of things going on. And we talked one last time, and it was really good. And so I called her when this happened. And Toby didn't answer, and I told Susan. I said, hey, this is what's going on. Same thing I told Toby. I really want to be there for Jacob. I'm apologetic for anything that might have happened. I take this very seriously, and I want to make sure that he feels like he's being taken seriously. And she didn't respond. And I called again, and I was like, hey, it was like time had passed. I called again. I'm like, hey, it's kind of bothersome that you're not calling back. Like, you're not even texting. You're not. And in all of these messages I leave people, I say, can you message me back? Like, can you let me know you are into this conversation or not into this, whether you're going to accept the conversation or not accept the conversation? Because consent's really important to me. I'm like, hey, let me know what you want to do. They didn't. Nobody did. And it ended up being like, Susan called back, but it was so fast. Like, I took the phone out of my pocket. I sat in my car in the driver's seat, took my phone out of the pocket, put it down, and moved my hand up like this, and there it was. The phone call had started and ended, and it was from my grandmother. So she knew when she called that she was calling to talk about these things and how it was challenging for me to be blocked out of it by Toby, who also was trying to be in my life at the time. Said that's what she wanted. Even though, and I had just forgiven her for acknowledging on the 6-year death anniversary that she finally admitted to me that she never saw me as Chester's son. She doesn't think I'm biologically related. That's why we haven't had too much of a close connection, but we get along when we're in person. We just don't take the extra time to spend time. That was part of the reason, is that she didn't consider me to be his child. She knew about the DNA dispute or whatever the fuck you want to call it, because I'm his kid, but there was something weird that happened with him and my mom.
Even though Chester literally took you in and treated you like a son, I'm not going to respect any of that.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Everyone continues to do that. Like,
when I called back immediately, she didn't answer. And I called back again, and she didn't answer. And I called back again, and she didn't answer. This usually happens. I get stuck in the voicemail box. And that dimension, that liminal space of perpetual transition. It's never going to get there. But it's there. And she didn't respond. The last time I left, the only loud message I left her, and I said, what the fuck is going on? You literally called me because you know what's going on. You know how much this is hurting me. Like, you know what's happening. And now you're not responding again. And it's just really frustrating because I always end up in this spot. And here I am, like, actually coming to you, actually talking about the thing in real time. Here I am doing the thing that we said we were going to do, doing the thing you're supposed to be doing. Like, as a conscious human being, like, I chose to assess the situation, ask for help again. And she did not respond. She blocked me. And that set me off on a whole thing, of course. And so to find out that this person was talking to Toby was just insane, because it was like, this is all going on and they know this. They're around for it. This person that backstabbed me. And they're talking to Toby, and it's like, that shit will drive you crazy too. Like, that's a huge part of my condition of invisibility. I don't know about you guys, but it's oh fuck, what was the exact words? They were right there. I lost them. Damn, I don't know where I was on that.
the thing I thought most interesting was that Draven, Mandel, and the person who talked to you after for like telling you off didn't even bring up that you had done something to your relative, and like the accusation that
not allegation,
accusation that Samantha made. They didn't even bring that up in telling you why you were so horrible. And then the person who just had the conversations with Toby, we asked her like what was said, and the only thing that they could say was that Toby said that the person had said that they thought you did something to them, like they felt like it. And like I totally resonate with that of like
Susan, you're talking about the Hill situation, like thinking that I was saying something really.
No.
Am I on the wrong page?
The accusation. I said that.
That was a weird situation.
That Toby had told the person that I don't know if I should. the quote unquote accuser had fucking said, "Oh, I felt like Jamie did this," and for me, I was like, that's interesting for it to be an "I felt," and I'm not trying to nitpick words. I was just saying, like, I get that. Like, I've had family members interact with me, and I was like, oh, is that weird? But, like, I'm always told, like, oh, are people being with you weird? Are people touching you weird? You had to think about even your family members. Are they being weird with you? And so, like, me as a kid with my little brain, I'd always be overanalyzing situations and be like, am I supposed to see that weird? How we said, like, we don't have certain interactions, so we don't know how people are and supposed to be, and even like affection taken as something. Like, I always triple questioned affection because it wasn't regular thing for me to get. And so I was just thinking about it, just like, what does that mean? Like, you felt like they did something, you know, like, but also, like, resonating and thinking about all the times I felt like someone did something to me, and, like, how I processed that and was going through that and, like, made to believe it was something or something else. And it just made me think about a lot of my own interactions in the realm of feeling someone's done something in a way, and being unsure, and being unsure to even say anything. And I know you resonate with that as well, and like being able to say it is such a big thing, so I'm glad they were able to say it and be taken seriously. That was the big part when it first came out. We were like, wow, okay, people are like listening to them, because you said the same thing, and then everyone told you, fuck you, you're not part of the family, and you don't actually care about any of things. And we were like, nah, I was just saying, like, I didn't know if something happened and I just felt a way, you know. I can't be sure. And it was treated in such a way, and so it was interesting to see the way you interacted with it, because you were doing the thing that you wanted to receive and trying to participate. And I get from their stance of being like, well, you did it, so we're blocking you and we're not going to talk to you, because, like, I can see that, like, being a mom and it being hard to talk to the person afterwards, like, for sure. It's just an interesting part seeing it, being on your side and seeing the time that it occurred and the positions you're in currently because of that. And again, just rethinking and being able to acknowledge the life and perception that we continuously are put in based on certain things and inability to communicate for a majority of reasons.
I hear that. I receive.
Do you?
I do. I receive it. But yeah, there are a lot of things that are insane about this experience. And you really, really have to know yourself. You have to really be confident in that, because one day I gotta look some of these people in the face, like actually in person. And everything that I do here goes with that, you know what I mean? And that can be extremely dysphoric. Like, so much of that action is carried out in a virtual space. It's like a whole different thing in person, but it's also not, you know? Like, I would still say the same things. I would still be my way. Of course, the edge would be definitely softened, mostly because the people I'm talking to would, you know, be holding an audience with me. We would be actually talking, you know? We'd be taking the time in the space. That's not what it is, though, you know? I have to take my time in my space because my time and space was taken. It's still being occupied. Don't know if you noticed. We're still talking about the same thing. 7 years on. Yeah. And the insanity of the in-person interaction is actually apparent, I think, in the way that I was living as like a child, I think. Just like experiencing celebrity and whatnot. Which I think is something I should think about, because I feel like there are specific words that want to come out. It's not just an acknowledgement of the thing. It's an acknowledgement of a thing. So I'm going to sit on that. I'm going to mess around on the keyboard. We're just chilling. Again, I'm going to go through the comments here in a second. I didn't expect to get off on a experience, but that's okay. I'm still here. Whatever time I take, I'll give back. I promise. For those of you who are interacting. Yep. Sitting on the floor.
Phone's probably charged a good amount. Your phone's probably charged a good amount.
Could probably move it. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. That's nice. Okay. Okay. That was quite the rhythm. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try to play the dream song. I'm pretty sure I got it this time. But last time, I almost got it. Last time wasn't on camera. I did it. I almost did it perfectly. I was trying to sing into it. I'm trying to incorporate singing drums, but my voice is so tired. I don't know
I also wanted to say that I think it's fun. People acknowledge, like, oh, you become the person that your childhood you needed.
Yeah.
And that's too true. We just see people who are able to communicate and take the words and actions of the people around us seriously, and to hold space for people even if they have different perception of a thing. Like how I was just saying, like being able to share even if you don't resonate, to hold space for someone even if they're having a hard time being able to articulate or having a certain response, you know? Or how you were like, oh no, I like that you say the things. And then all I do is look at you and you're like, oh, okay, I might have a hard time hearing it, but I do like it. Like, I know. And that's the point, is like, that is a nice part of being here, of like, being able to know that we'll have those conversations even if they're hard. Just hearing, or just literally like the physical thing of being present in a conversation that's emotionally hard. It's nice to see.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Like right when you said that, it was like, whoa. That's what it sounded like, but like different. You know?
I do.
But yeah. I would definitely say this experience has made us learn how to communicate under all conditions at all times.
Force.
I would definitely say that. Is it that first? I think that's what I heard. That
Yeah, proud of you for extending that to others as well.
Me?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Be able to acknowledge someone had an experience that, even if that wasn't your intention and you didn't mean to do something, that even if they felt you did something, you're like, okay, then I want to hear it and I want to be there. And it takes a lot. You know, you asked for that. And
yeah, I did.
It is a hard thing to give.
Yeah. That goes to show you how much
appreciate
I wanted to get out of it. That level of determination and acceptance. It was like, oh, I have to eat. I will only eat what I put in front of me. And yeah. I definitely have more psychological powers than when I started. I appreciate our relationship for that. I feel like this is all a mental game in general. Like, of course life is a mental game, but this is a different caliber. And having this interaction with you over time has been like super helpful for that. Because I feel like the more I'm able to tune into like other people's needs, the less affecting it is when my needs aren't met, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's different than just socializing. It's like a kind of like mental weight, like a validation of like a reality. Does that make sense? Like I said, even before I even met this person, I was alone for over 5 years before that. Like, or about 5 years, not over. Like, literally, like, just usually on my own. I mean, I had, like, friends around and stuff, but I was usually on my own. So, like, for me, being around G is super cool because I lived alone for so long. I really didn't know how people were. When I met G, I was like, I have no idea what to do with any of this. I just think you're really fucking cool. And special, and I want to be around. So I appreciate you appreciating me. For real.
Circle jerk.
Yeah, of course. That was for you. That wasn't for me. I might say a lot, but that's because I got a lot behind it. That doesn't mean that it's not for you. That's for you.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird.
It just ties into other stuff too. It's like stuff that we were talking about just now. But that's crazy. That's right, I went up to the E. That was the problem. Okay, I got it. I was like, I know I did one note different. It sounds different. There we go. No. That chord right there, just that chord, reminds me of what are the words? What is she saying? It's not I love you, but I don't love you. It's off that the newest album.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Billie Eilish. She says like, I don't, just that one chord's reminding me of it. I don't, we don't like you, I like you, but I can't change you, or we can't change you. What is that? But I can't change you, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just that one chord.
That's so clearly.
Oh, it just goes to the. Okay. It's just 1 to 5. That's crazy. But if you play it with the octave on D, then it just is moving the thirds there. The minor to minor 3. That's cool. I haven't heard that album much. I'm surprised that it was so clean on that repeat. All right, let's see here. Okay, guys, I'm looking at the comments now. I'm gonna actually take this out. Let's see. What am I playing? Right now, I've just been playing stuff I've either made up or stuff that I just have been tinkering on. So it's all just from around. Thank you for asking. Yes, G and I are drawn together like magnets. We were. By cosmic happenstance. Joined at the hip.
Happenstance. We both were like, bro, I can't take it anymore. If I don't get at least one person to acknowledge when I'm
be heard,
going through it,
I'm gonna scream.
No, we talked about how we both positioned ourselves
Yeah.
and asked for each other, I guess.
Going back to the top, guys. I'm gonna try.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Let's see. The Lost video, wasn't that the one with the AI generated CGI graphic? It was like an anime, right? I don't like AI art just because I don't trust people with it. Like, it's cool to have stuff that does that, but like, people are too exploitative right now to be making that cool, in my opinion. I mean, just look at the acting business right now. They're just like destroying like tried voice actors and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's not just voice actors, it's musicians. It's wild. I mean, guys, we listened to an AI version of Chester singing
Did you play it?
The Emptiness Machine. No, but I did put it on my story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, if you guys saw that. That was crazy. It is interesting that people have said Chester would want any of this. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yeah, I've been typing I do not support period under people's posts. If I see any outlet that's doing anything dumb, if I see like Loudwire the other day, they're like so excited to be fresh off the press. They're like, the Hollywood Bowl show occurred in 2024, and it's like, dude, please. They didn't even mention my dad. Could you at least get the date for the fucking show right? It was 2017. It was October. It was the first day that Mike shared a new song. Ooh, this person's asking about the LP Live people. No, I found out, somebody sent me like a screenshot of the community chat. I guess there's like a separate thing where like all the LP Live people hang out. And they were like talking shit. They were saying I was lurking and that I couldn't mind my own business. And it was just so funny. They were like, hey,
this is my business though.
Maybe you should like create a profile and like come mess with them. I'm like, I wish I had time for that. I haven't had time. But yeah, I think I said something to them because I obviously, multiple times I've asked Linkin Park and Linkin Park Live to like be respectful and like acknowledge me. No, they haven't. I don't condone just like this guy right here that said, Mike is a psychopath, has a psychopathic look at him. Something's definitely off with the guy. I just want to say real quick, reading that, my mind was like, I have to say this out loud. I don't really think it's like that. I don't think it's like you look at a guy and you just know like that. I think that it's definitely in an action. I definitely think that I think there are moments like at the Zane Lowe interview, hilarious. Mike's behavior was insane and that's real. But do I think that just looking at a guy, you could tell how much of a jerk he is or a psychopath? I don't know about that in this situation.
Me, I can definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I can look at some people and I'm like, oh my god. And then I think oh, I'm being mean. And then they'll do the shit. And then I'm like, okay. Affirmed. Your intuition is real. We can't keep making ourselves second guess ourselves here.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying is
I know not about Mike and everything.
At this point, yeah, I might say that some of that is I do feel like that's disconnected and disassociative. But I also that's with a lot of history, just one-to-one history,
I was gonna
that's
say,
not necessarily Mike just to anybody. That's Mike to me as Chester's son.
I was gonna say at this time it's not intuition, it's a educated conclusion.
Right.
Based on our experience.
It's an educated projection. That is correct. I agree. That does, in my opinion, so far we have definitely clarified who's for mental health and who's not for mental health in this situation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really funny. If Emily was really photographed wearing a One More Light hoodie and then they didn't sing anything off One More Light, that would be so funny, bro.
I'm sure it's nothing.
It's definitely something, but probably not.
I'm just always gonna say that now.
Yeah, it was IGYEIH. That was the acronym that song was named. Oh yeah, that's a real thing. This person says, it's so annoying how people think they know Mike when the only Mike they know is the one on stage and on camera. And I totally agree with that, because in reality, Linkin Park Underground has been a massive part of Linkin Park. Linkin Park TV, LPTV, has been a big part of Linkin Park. The documentarian process is very much so a core element of Linkin Park. So it's just...
Or everyone wants to say they know these guys, but we can
always
they're a band. It's a product. Like, you can say, oh, well, Jamie, of course they're not saying anything to you because they have all these people behind them. They're not going to say anything. So you think you know these people? You're really willing to tell someone to fucking kill themselves when you think they're mentally ill for this person who you don't know? But you're going to say you know. Y'all are besties, right? He literally would not ride for you like you're fucking riding his... like you're riding him.
Yeah, it's true.
Charlie, he would not ride for you.
He wouldn't ride for you, Charlie.
Lord would.
Charlie found out. Because Charlie's not here now.
Oh,
yeah. Much. He's not here anymore. But, no, for real, like imagine, 99% of Mike's image comes from Linkin Park, which has always been heavily documented. It's always been on camera. Everything they do is on camera, kind of.
Documented and, what's it called? Engineered.
Engineered, publicized, sold off,
like,
pieced off.
Told how you're able to act and what you're able to say, what you're able to do. We know it's a product. It's a band. All bands are products. We all acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You can't keep pretending that LP is the only... not product, even though they scream about how they're a product.
Literally. They already told you. That's what we went over the lyrics for. Let's see here. Yeah, it's funny that this person's saying that I did the Chester laugh again. That's nice. But also, I was just smiling, right? And I'm looking at myself in the camera, and I'm like, how the fuck are you going to tell me I don't look like your son? I look like Draven, bro. What are you talking about, Sam? You're insane. Like, we got the Chester look in the cheeks. It's right here. It's just in the way it sits. You can't tell me. You keep it to yourself. You stop trying to make things up.
You can say it.
You certainly can feel it. But stop saying it. You said you wouldn't do it again, and then you did it twice. And now I'm the enemy. I agree, Sandra. I really want to know if Rob is genuinely okay or not. I mean, they talked about Rob literally less than Chester, which is maybe expected given the circumstances. But I mean, like, when I say more than Chester, I mean they didn't talk about Chester.
Only brought up Chester when the interviewers brought up Chester.
I don't like you.
Only brought him up when the interviewers brought him up, and then deflected the whole time. Each question did not answer them. I thought it was hilarious how in the Apple thing, all the questions were deflected into something else. Like, no straight answers. How he said, which would again drive me fucking insane. If I was there.
I'm right there with you.
If that was me, which it would not be. I don't think they will.
That's what I'm saying. This person said all of this has been planned. It was a long time ago. And those who are pulling the strings know that. And I've been saying that. I agree. That's what I said. I said Linkin Park has been writing music since 2017. Because I also include post-traumatic in that list.
Again, when we came out, and the response that we got were something's in the works. They want Jamie to be quiet because they don't want Jamie to influence the money flow. And they're trying to silence him however they can. And we were right multiple times about multiple things. Sadly.
I was sitting there.
We did not want to be right.
Watching this interview, literally going, God damn, they didn't have to fucking hand it to me. Like, they could have... I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I come up with really creative plans. I'm like, oh, maybe they do this, maybe they do that. Every time I'm disappointed. Every time. Like, I thought this was going to go way different. I feel like this could have been done way better. Even in the short amount of time they might have had to do it because of whether or not I was triggering them a certain way. And it's like... It's just fucking so... guys, this guy has like a lot of power.
Everything is.
It's like a lot of affluence.
Everything is cool when you're part of the team.
This person said they went to Chester offering him an album saying that he was the real star, and Chester said fuck them, or it's Linkin Park or nothing. I agree. There is that video surfacing right now where Mike Shinoda literally talks about how the industry professionals of the music industry, Warner Music Group in specific, or Warner Records, they came in and tried to turn Chester around and say, hey, look, you're the star of the whole show. We'll just make it your band. And Mike will stop rapping, and this is how it's going to go. And Chester said, and Mike said this himself in his video, that Chester said, no, it's Linkin Park or nothing. It's not like that. I'm not a star.
You did not show me that.
I'm with the band.
Ugh.
And so for Mike to say any of the things he said about having things taken away and blah, 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 you could save it. You can miss me with that shit because that was crazy. That's a crazy clip to watch and then see like the interview that just happened. It's like,
it's insane.
How do they keep getting away with shit like this? It's insane. What were you saying?
It's insane that based off Mike's behavior, in my head I could jump to a conclusion that, oh, after that Mike would be so petty to be like, you think you're better than me? And it was like, Chester's like, no bro, I literally said no, like I don't think that, and I don't want this to be, oh yeah, well I'm the general, you thought I was your side piece? No, I'm leading this shit now. And like, could be. I don't know, whenever I listen to the LP music, all I hear is like them fighting each other, and like it sounds such a way to me based on the things I know, and it's hard to listen to, and that's all I see is like, again, them fighting or like pushing someone to say something in a certain way, like, play it, little monkey boy, sing the song.
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you for sharing. I'm taking a screenshot of that one. I'm going to talk about it later on my own.
Yay.
Because that is an insane thing to say. I thought they were Catholic.
I'm interested.
Hey, blow my brains out. Thank you. I appreciate that question. If Chris Cornell meant so much to Chester, why would he take his own life the same way Chris was killed on Chris's birthday in honor of his friend? Thank you. I said the same thing. You know, so many people are quick to be like, hey, you know, your dad was so sad about Chris, but here's the thing. And dude, okay, literally, I've been trying to get into contact with Noah Weiland, Scott Weiland's son of Stone Temple Pilots. He's been doing something similar to this. I've been trying to acknowledge him. I've been trying to talk to him. He's friends with Sam and Draven. So I get kind of that. But like after Linkin Park and this, you know, reveal or Linkin Park reveal, and it's like, do we not have a common core here? I don't know. I feel like here, let me try to. There are so many people that would claim that Chester was so sad that Scott had died, Noah's dad, that Chris had died. It's like, it's weird. It's weird that the STP people don't have anything to say about this, you know, considering that Chester and Scott were their frontman, okay? As well as Chester being Linkin Park's. And it's... There are people who will tell me Chester was so sad he killed himself because of Chris and Scott, and he did it on Chris's birthday because it was just too much that day. And I understand the appeal of an idea of it being realistic, that someone might be so disparaged by their experience that they genuinely can't take it anymore, and the day comes around and it's just so hard and they're by themselves in a certain way. I get that. But why, like, but that's not how Chester honored people. That's not how he honored people. Yeah, I had my moments with my dad. We had bad times, but we had good times. I know.
Any relationship, I hate
when
people keep holding that over you. Like,
yeah. Everything's hot and cold. Everything's touch and go. Everything's learning. Everything's healing in motion. Everything hurts. It's just what it is. It's fine. But like, I know enough about my dad to know that that's not really how he worked. Not really. Because he does care about his family. Like, he cares about me. This is a guy who moved away from somewhere he wanted to live. He lived there for over 5 years. The same place he was recruited into a human trafficking task force effort, right? He moved from there back to Arizona, where he never wanted to be again, to be around me. Me. So I know how Chester loved holding space for people. And that's not the way he loved holding space for people. He would sing a song for them, which he did. He would be there for his family, which he was, right? He still was the Godfather.
There was a...
That's it. I just don't think that that's true. I don't think he did that. I think that's a calling card. If you ask me, in all of my intelligence, I would say that's a calling card. That is a sign. So, they hide it in obscurity and absurdity, something that can't possibly be true. That's just what? They want you to be that way. But the answer is that, yeah, you kill somebody on another person's birthday, they're probably connected. And I think that that's reasonable. I think that if you can read lyrics that way, you can read situations that way. And I think that it's important to place things where they belong. Put the picture piece where it goes in the timeline. See what it looks like, because it doesn't exist outside that moment. So it's important to know that there's a moment that belongs in. And so I don't think Chester would have done that. I don't think my dad would have done that. Depression's definitely a thing, but it's not that. And I think that that's a calling card. I think that's somebody doing something. But what do I know about synchronotic events?
You were saying something earlier.
What were you saying? Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of the press conference that we frequently talk about, where I forget, one of the managers was talking about how towards the end, Chester was so bad and they had to just control him
Jim Digby,
all
I
the time.
think.
And that on one time, Mike told him he needed to go tell Chester to take off his glasses.
Yeah, he did.
And Chester's like, no, I'm literally so sad I'm not taking them off. And it's like, Mike was like, he's just doing it again. He's being that guy again. He won't take off his glasses and his hat. He needs to do it. We have to go do this thing. And I was like, oh, wow, there's an example of Chester being so fucking depressed and sad, and you guys making him do an appearance or making him do a performance instead of actually acknowledging he's in a crucial state, and then later being like, well, we didn't even know. It was crazy, because it sounds like you knew, and it sounds like you told him how he was allowed to act and how he was allowed to express himself in a time that he needed to do something else, because you wanted it to look good.
Yeah. Yep. Spot on as usual. I always hate it when people tell me that this one's crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Why are you saying that? That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. But I would also say, I see, Bonnie is in here talking about how impactful death anniversaries can be, or birthdays. And I understand that. I do understand. I'm not saying he wasn't impacted on that day. I'm not saying he couldn't have been emotional about it. I'm not even saying that he didn't do it, right? Everything's on the table until it isn't. But, I am saying that as far as I know my dad, I don't think that's what he would do. I just don't. And I could be wrong. I didn't know him on certain dimensions in the ways that I would have liked to. So there is a possibility that I don't know. And that's fine. That's allowed too. People are allowed to be sad and do things on days even if they didn't mean to. It's okay.
And it's also an acknowledgement, like as much as we say like wrongful death, it's like wrongful death in the fact that like what I just said, like you know this guy was going through something and you guys just keep telling him he needs to continue. Or if you don't, you're weak. If you don't do these things and you're a fool, you didn't know what you got into and X, Y, and Z, or you're not a man providing for your family. Like I can just hear so many things that people have told you and about what they could have told him, and I feel bad.
I definitely feel chestered.
Yeah.
100%. Yep. That's my opinion. I do feel that way. I do feel that I have been put through what my father went through.
Yeah.
This person had a funny idea. They said that the new album, like physical copies, they turn out to be one of those things that like can't be opened. It's just like a piece of plastic or something. You know? It's like looks like an album, but you can't open it.
It is a piece of plastic.
That's funny. Like fake fruit.
I see them doing it and like, ha ha. We're just jokers.
Always just messing around. Fuck, this joke goes hard. This prank is hard.
No, that was insane. The fucking live only being an hour.
Oh yeah, the 60-minute limit on the concert.
Spend all your money. Come over here. Spend the money, like not for the ticket, but for your plane, for your hotel, for your food, for your merch that you know you want to buy. Spend it all over here, even though you guys can barely afford to live, and we are going to make it expensive.
Bro, like, I really, really want to go to the show. I genuinely want to go to the show.
I know you do.
I like torture. I like to torture myself. I go, because look, because it's like this energy has to be interacted with. There is only a window for it, so I'll go.
You're like, do it to my face. If you're gonna stand here and say that you're all this and that, then do it to my face.
Yeah, do it to my face. I'll sit in the, like I said, I'll sit in the nosebleeds. I'll sit up at the edge of the stadium in the very back, even if there aren't people. Even if people aren't there and it's not really as packed as they say, or, tickets are refunded or whatever, fine. Whatever. I'll sit in the very back. You don't even have to know. You can't even sense, well, you'll probably sense my spiritual pressure, but you won't even have to look at me.
Spiritual pressure?
Yeah, bleach. Yeah. If only you do. There's a reason one person here calls me Kratos. No, for real though. The Mecca of marriages. I'm looking at the comments. I'm going down. I always try to exercise empathy. I know that sounds like such a pick-me phrase, but like for real, I do. Like I really, really fucking... That's why when Ryan went off on me like 3 weeks ago, I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm getting online right now. Who the fuck?
No, also like it's so hard.
No.
That's what we've been saying.
I gave you all the empathy, bro. What are you talking about?
All these things that we say, we're also acknowledging like, but they could be going through this. I mean, they could be doing this. And like, it's just so hard to continue doing that for people who don't give a fuck about anything you're saying, feeling, doing, and experiencing. But like to continue to do that, it's a nice testimony to self. Like when we get caught up in our things and we're like, no, wait, we do think that way. Wait, we were acknowledging them this way, and like we can still do that. Like you today were expressing how you were hurt by the person who went and talked to Toby and didn't tell you, and I was like, yeah, but we do have to acknowledge they went through this, and this is how they interact with them. And you were just standing there like, yeah, I know, and you're like, I'm so upset about it, like you can acknowledge things and have empathy for people, and still not enjoy the things that they're doing. Which is the same thing with Mike. We were like, damn, like, he's wearing that smile so fucking big this whole live performance, and, like, if that's a genuine thing, then, like, we're happy he's experiencing that. But it does suck that they went about it the way that they did and continue to interact in the ways that they do.
This is so trippy. Yeah. Just like, I know I did smoke a little bit, and I know that it is extreme stress that I'm also experiencing, but this is just such a trip. Like, it's just the fact that we're even having these conversations right now or saying these things is just like, this really has to be it. This is the way we have to do this shit. It did not have to be this way at all.
There is always something else you can do. But are you willing to acknowledge that is the main question.
I don't know if this person understands that they're in this conversation right now. They asked if I am happy that Chester will be celebrated on tour. And I'm like, no, that's the whole point. He's not, though. That's the whole point. That's not what's happening.
They might have missed a crucial part of this.
Maybe they don't. Everybody loves you. They're saying that. Tell G we love them.
Thank you. Did you express that you call me Trilogy now?
Yes. Not to them, but I did say it to the collective. Literally, my dad literally claimed me. Wait. I agree. There are a lot of dimensional elements in this situation that disallow communication and understanding. It's one of the reasons that I strategized for multiple years before I went live. And I didn't even mean to go live the way I went live last year. I got hacked. I had to save my own life. And here we are. I would have done it totally differently.
Same.
If somebody hadn't tried to ruin my life for telling my truth at a time when I was being vague, I wouldn't be here the way we are today. So I'd like to say thank you to the hacker. You're a real son of a bitch. Without you, I wouldn't be able to embrace my full glory so quickly. You literally handed this to me. Thank you so much for being annoying as fuck.
I have to finish with it, but for the majority of them I've done. And
G's been working on sketching out my sketches. They took pictures of all my early sketchbooks and then they traced them out and like did cool like little negative type arrangements on them. Very cool. Still going. Yeah, because I want to be here for you guys and we're having real conversations and, well, at least I am. Okay, we're back at the magnets comment. Now I'm going through comments. I know that was a long time ago, but I'm just acknowledging you. I think something that was chronically underreported, if it was ever reported during Chester's passing, was that Chester had literally gone to rehab at the beginning of the year prior, 2016. Gotten out, gone through a bunch of really big shifts, and then lost Scott Weiland, and then lost Chris. I think people tried to use the grief as a medium for Chester as a medium for communicating whatever points they wanted to make about whatever it is that they wanted people to believe was going on with him. But like, when Chester turned around and he said, "I'm not doing this anymore," on Twitter, he had lost 2 people. He had seen the bombing of the Manchester Arena in London. You know what I mean? He said his heart goes out to the families. Why would a man who turned around and said he was going to make a real effort to acknowledge these things after losing people and seeing people being brutalized on a global stage, like, like, you really think he would do that given the current circumstance? You think he wouldn't want to be there for his godson? Or be there for Vicky? Or... because he always took care of families. That was his thing. No, I didn't get in touch with Sloan Bell. It's not time. I also feel like, you know, emotionally, it's just like, you come get me. Why the fuck you abandon me? Like everybody else. Sloan Bell is very interesting. I mean, I think a lot of you might have seen the messages I sent her about, you know, putting all business aside and just talking about her son who she'd lost in a horrific car accident type situation recently to the time I talked to her. The TMZ biography reported in 2017 is nowhere. No. Doesn't exist, I guess. Yeah, how did they go from the live event to the big interview and edit all of that together in the time?
I think it's funny that everyone's like,
okay, we
this
got to the bottom.
rollout is great. This rollout is awesome.
Hey, it's G.
I personally did not share that opinion. It's interesting. It is interesting to see what...
Okay.
That's a great question.
I'm not going to let anybody on today. I'm just talking with you about these things. But it looks like I got to the bottom.
Nice.
It looks like we said everything that really needs to be said. We addressed all the comments. We had little conversations in the middle, and I think it's time. I appreciate you all taking time and being present and participating in this. Thank you for interaction. I appreciate all of you. And, yeah. I hope I get tickets to the show.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Of course, that's the perfect comment to end with. Just get help. I'm sad for you.
I'm sad for us too. This should not be the circumstance for sure. Also, we are trying to get, what's it called?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Let me cook. Hold on.
Oh, I didn't know you were cooking. You looked expectant.
For the word to arrive in my head, diagnose.
Oh,
there you
wow.
go.
Okay.
Because everyone wants to... No, not because everybody else, but yeah, because it's helpful. Apparently, nobody's going to take you seriously, and you're not going to get any help or acknowledgement unless you pay for it, so...
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that soon. You're diagnosed.
I just think it's like...
So we don't have to fucking... Anytime anybody goes, well, fuck you, you should get help. I go, here's my piece of paper. Somebody said I was sick and now you have to listen to me.
Even though I already said it. I already know
Even though I already know. Even though I already told you. But yeah. Okay, guys.
Thanks for the kind comments. It's very nice to see.
Yes, this is a much kinder, gentler experience. I'm very happy that I stayed on longer. I was not anticipating that. I really wanted to be done, but when it came to it, I was just like, I have to talk about the victims and the way they've been addressed, and it kind of spiraled out from there because, no, like, I've been here advocating for all of you as much as I've been advocating for myself, and I can't acknowledge myself and not acknowledge you. So, or I could, but I refuse to, because I refuse to think that we are mutually exclusive, that we're not connected.
We're all going through the same things. We're all being ignored by society and acknowledgement in a certain way of humanity. So can't not acknowledge it. But anyways, good night, good morning.
Whoa. Don't say things like that. So close to me. Apparently, I can't handle it. Have a good night. We appreciate you. Goodbye.